Now it's okay. Very important bird behind me.
Yeah,
We're talking about clarinet players, but I see bird there. Not very good one.
right. It's good to see him anyway.
Yeah.
Right, right. So, listen, Robert, it's nice
Yeah.
to have you too here on this interview series, and I listened to your funky version of Morning Dance the other day, and enjoyed it very much on YouTube. You started out on the clarinet, or you? How did it happen with you?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was a child at age 9, I started clarinet because my father was clarinet player,
Oh, okay.
and also my grandfather was professor of classical clarinet.
Hmm.
He was the first clarinet in Tel Aviv Opera. He was working for 30 years first clarinet.
Mm.
So when I was a child, I knew that I would be or saxophone player or clarinet player because my
You haven't.
father was jazz player. He was sounded like Sonny Stitt or Zutzim, Stanget.
Mhm.
I was a child and he told me, you have to start from clarinet. So at age 9, I remember like now,
Mhm.
after breakfast, he invited me to a living room and told me, this is gift to you. He bring me new clarinet, but that time in Russia it was problem to find great clarinet like today you can find Buffet or Yamaha or
Mhm.
Selmer. He bring me clarinet very very good quality. It was Amati. Amati. Everybody plays in Russia, even super professional musician on this kind of clarinet.
Mhm.
So he gave me this clarinet and mouthpiece. It was Van Doren B46, new one. It was. I'm talking about 80. Yeah, it was 1983. So I started to play clarinet. He showed me how to play, what to play. We started with Klose, we played Wiedemann, we played exercise by Spohr. I love to play everything,
Mhm.
And when my father was on tours, I was always with my grandfather because grandfather was also teacher, professor, and I was with them every time.
So your father played in the opera, or your grandfather?
No, he was working in the opera, and also he was
Mhm.
professor of music conservatory now it's like Academy of Music in Kiev, Ukraine.
Mhm.
Because I was born in Ukraine, not in
Mhm.
Israel. We emigrated in 1991 to Israel.
Okay.
So I started to play day by day, and I played a lot of classical music, Mozart, Weber, Spohr, Rachmaninoff, everything, like all clarinet players, beginners, I mean. I
Mhm.
played with piano players, and I love to play all, all stuff of Weber. I played Concertino Weber, I played the variation of Weber, I played then. It was a very ridiculous situation. My father brings to me a clarinet, and he told me I told him I heard Benny Goodman plays Mozart. He told me yes, Benny plays Mozart, but he plays on the A clarinet, not B flat. And he brings me big one clarinet. I start to play. I feel different situation. I was kid around 12 years old, and this clarinet much bigger than usually B flat.
Yeah.
And I start to play da 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 like that, And I learn everything, and then I start to play with Benny Goodman LPs together, And in the 86, 87, I played concert in Kiev with it was youth symphony orchestra. I played Mozart and I played Weber.
Mhm.
And always I wanted to play jazz on clarinet, because I heard when I was a child, when I was born from the first day that they bring me home. I listen every time Benny Goodman, Charlie Parker, Buddy DeFranco. I didn't know who them, but
Mhm.
my father was listening to them every time. When I was at the age 9, 10, I asked my father if I can take his LPs when he's out of home and listen to them. So he told me, okay, but carefully. It was American LPs, very expensive. Until today, I have everything here. I'll show you my collection. When I was started, I listened a lot of them. My favorite it was this one, Benny Goodman.
A little bit to the other side.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, together again.
Yeah, this was my favorite recorded that I listen, I sing it, everything. Then it was this one, you see. Benny Goodman Sextet. Yeah.
LPs.
Then, yeah. This is LPs. This is also Carnegie Hall concerts. All this kind of stuff. I was crazy with this. I was listening to just a second. I was listening to them all the time, you know.
Real collection.
For me, For me, Benny was like king, you know. Benny Goodman. But until today, I tell you the truth, I never tried to play like Benny Goodman. Even now, I didn't try to play exactly like Benny because I don't know why. You know, it was my big mistake when I switched to saxophone in 1988. I immediately told to my father, I don't want to play anymore on clarinet, I want to play on the saxophone. He was on shock because he told me you have to play clarinet too, because all great musicians who played with saxophone, they're also great clarinet players, also like Phil Woods, also like a musician like, also Campbell Adderley started clarinet, you know. Okay. He didn't play never, but he started also a lot of great musicians like Art Pepper. All these guys played clarinet before. So I told them, I will, but I promised, but never did it. You know, I just finished it to play in 1988, 89 on clarinet. I did this break, and I started to play every time saxophone, you know. Then, 3 or 4 years ago, I met a friend, his name Eddie Goffman. He's very good. I tell them that for me it's like sax doctor and clarinet doctor. Everybody who comes to Israel, even Carrado, famous clarinet player, he goes to Eddie to fix something, to fix some mouthpiece and everything. So Eddie told me, I know your father was clarinet player, your grandfather was famous clarinet player. Why don't play clarinet? I thought, well, you know, my clarinet is not so good condition now. I don't know. To buy now a new one, I don't know if I need it. But I'll tell you the truth. In 2005, I met Buddy DeFranco here in Tel Aviv. He came to play to Opera House with concert. It's dedicated to, I think it's something like tribute to Charlie Parker. He played with my great friend, Italian clarinet player. His name, Beppe Diamato. Maybe you heard this guy. He's living in Italy, in Pescara. I met Beppe in 2004 when I come to competition of saxophone players. It's called Massimo Urbani competition. We both win first prize. He was clarinet player, I was saxophone player. And from that time, every time we've been online, we're chatting, emailing, speaking a lot. And Beppe told me, you know, Robert, next year I'll be in Opera House with Buddy DeFranco. Probably want to see him and say hello. I'm sure, absolutely, for me it's great. And I come to the first rehearsal. I see Buddy DeFranco play. He was in the age 87, 86 maybe. He told me, Sam, do you play also clarinet? I told him, I played before many years ago. My father was saxophone player, clarinet player, also grandfather. And he told me, you want to play something for me? I told him, I don't have here clarinet. I'll take mine. He gave me his clarinet. I started to play something like Groovin' High or something like that. But my sound was ridiculous because I didn't practice, I didn't play. It's not my clarinet, it's not my mouthpiece, nothing, not my reed. And he told me, son, you sound so great. I told him, yes, I studied with Phil Wood on saxophone. Oh, Phil's great friend of mine, you know. By the way, Phil play also clarinet. I told him, yeah, you have to play clarinet, man. We have too much saxophone players, but we don't have too much clarinet players. I think you can be good clarinet player. I told him maybe someday I'll. And all these 10 years I was thinking about maybe I need to back to my clarinet or something like that. By the way, Buddy gave me a gift.
So this book. Motivation for you.
Yeah, this is a book of Buddy.
Great
you
book.
know,
yeah, great.
He also he wrote for me a couple, so you know.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Great. And every time I was thinking about clarinet, but I don't know, my idol was also Phil Wood, Buddy DeFranco, and also Eddie Daniels. But I never tried to play like Eddie Daniels or Buddy DeFranco. And exactly 3 or 4 years ago, Eddie told me, try to play on clarinet. I thought, I don't have now good clarinet. I don't want to start on my clarinet because it's not so good for me. And he told me, I'll give you my clarinet. And he gave me Russ Wood Coca-Cola, I think. Clarinet is from Taiwan. Because I tried to play it before on a buffet, I told him I didn't like it, the sound. And he gave me a simple clarinet. I start to play. I feel it's good for me. He told me, take it and just invite me on your concert when you'll be ready. I started to play, but you know, it was ridiculous because you feel that you can play on clarinet, but if you not practice, it's a big trouble because you feel like man after the stroke, you know, you start to play and nothing happens. You feel that you can play, but it's not going away. You know? So I was all shocked. I started to practice more and more. After 7 months, I just put couple videos to YouTube, and a promoter from Russia and Germany asking maybe I want to come to play. I told him I'm not clarinet player, I'm saxophone player. It's ridiculous. I'm not play clarinet good. You know, they said, wow, you sound so great. Then I start to think if I'll start to play clarinet, so what I can do? I start to play a program dedicated to Benny Goodman. I didn't play it like Benny, but I start to. My way it was like Buddy DeFranco between Eddie Daniels, you know. And 3 years ago I started this program, and exactly 1 year before, I mean, in December last year, I played big tour in Russia. I've been in Russia, in St. Petersburg, Moscow. It was around 1 month tour, 30 gigs. And I play only clarinet. All my friends was in shock because they didn't know that I play clarinet. They know that I'm saxophone player. I never told them that I can play on clarinet because, you know, a lot of lazy saxophone players don't want to play clarinet because it's a very difficult instrument to play. To be great clarinet player, you have to learn every day, minimum 2-3 hours in a day. It's not saxophone that you don't need to practice, then you can take it, it's okay, you know. On clarinet, it's not working. Even, you know, you can practice all the day on clarinet. After that, you come to the gig and you feel not comfortable. Something wrong every time. Clarinet every time win because you don't know what will be happens, you know, or read or something like that, you know. And this pandemic time, I play every time clarinet, you know. My last gig was on February 10. I played on alto sax. Then after that, cancel everything. In March, cancel my gigs in Israel. Also, big tour again in Russia, in Poland, and Germany. So I started to play clarinet. All the time I play clarinet. Then after a few months, I say, I'm a saxophone player. I need to take saxophone one day to play. I thought maybe I forgot to play on saxophone because every time on clarinet, I start to play saxophone. I feel it's much better than it was when I played only saxophone. My technique, articulation, sound, phrasing, everything's much better. I just understand that I don't need to practice anymore on saxophone. I'll practice every day my clarinet. And I feel very good. First of all, sometimes people ask me my setup, maybe I play bakun. I'm not playing bakun. Bakun for me is now very expensive. I want to buy bakun, but I'll wait.
So what's that playing?
Now I have a few clarinets from Taiwan. I just asked the guys bring me new models, gold-plated. I found from 3 or 4 different clarinets, 2 that I can play. And my setup now, I play on a few mouthpieces. I have also Eddie Goffman mouthpiece. I have also mouthpiece by Wayne Fai. This is a guy from Taiwan. He made amazing mouthpieces. And for the last few months, I'm playing a lot on American Wizard Crystal. And Leger number 4.
But the clarinet I see is from brown wood.
Yeah, it's Kookaburra. It's the same like Eddie Daniels. It's copy of Bakun, but it's not Bakun.
Okay.
But it sounds great, you know. I tried to play even on real Bakun and didn't like it exactly the sound, you know. I tried to play on different model of clarinets, even Tosca, Buffet, Crampon, also R14 for student jazz, also Old Selmer, but you know, I didn't like the sound. I feel it's not exactly what I need.
Okay.
On this clarinet, I feel that everything is good, even with American Wizard mouthpiece, it sounds amazing, you know. It's another fact. I never thought that I would play on crystal mouthpieces because, you know, I play all my life on regular mouthpiece, and only in January I just switched to new one. I come to Eddie, I told him, you know, all my friends in Moscow, great classical players, plays on American Wizard and Crystal, and maybe I'll try something. If you give me 10 mouthpieces, start to play, it sounds great, it's good for me, but the problem that it was not exactly what I need. I told him, can you fix it something for me? He changed a little bit this mouthpiece. It sounds now exactly what I need.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm playing Leger reeds. For 3 or 4 months, I don't need to change reed. I just I can play 3 or 4 months without break even every day. It's good. For clarinet, but I'm endorser of marker reeds, but I'm not playing on clarinet now on marker reeds. After Leger, I don't need it. But on saxophone, I play only with marker reeds, and I love them. I play on American vintage reeds. It's exactly sound what I need. So I want to back to my child. When I started playing,
maybe you can tell us when did the switch happen from Kiev to Tel Aviv? What was the reason and what time was it?
It was in 1991. It was time that all Jewish people moved or Germany or United States or Israel. My family moved to Israel because they thought we are Jewish people, we have to be in Israel. So from 1991 I was here in Israel. From 1992 I moved to New York for 4 years, studied jazz at New School of Music. And Phil Woods was my teacher. So
yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. Phil Woods turned out like to be a mentor to you?
Yeah. You know, Phil was for me a friend, a father, a mentor, idol, a god, you know, everything.
You guys
was
played
very good.
Right?
Yeah, we played also with him, and I told you, even my father, when he met Phil, he told him, not I'm his father, he your father. He listened to you every time. He wants to be like you, have everything like you, even head like you, because you give him the rest. So I want to, I have his head. He sent me, he asked me, Robert, I'm in the age that I don't need a lot of money. Maybe we'll do some CDs together. I want to do something for you. And I told them, give me your head here, take it. So sometimes people ask me, now we know why you sound great, because you have a head. I told them, yes, it's installation, like Windows. If you put this head, you can play like Phil Woods. Without head, it sounds like Charlie Parker.
That would be nice. It would be so easy, right?
Yeah. So I want to back to my school days. When I started clarinet, I'll tell you the story. My grandfather was playing on clarinet all his life, but Germany system. He never played Bohemian system, French system. And my father started also Germany system because she started in late 40s. In Russia at that time, everybody plays only Germany system. Nobody don't don't even didn't know that they have some French sister. And Benny Goodman comes to Russia in 1962 with big band. If you heard about it, he was in St. Petersburg. I mean Leningrad, Moscow, Kiev. It was big tour. This was all-star big band. Benny invited a lot of great players like Zoot Sims, Phil Woods, Jerry Dudgeon, Vic Feldman on piano, Teddy Wilson, Mel Lewis. On bass it was, I forgot the name.
Bill Crow.
He's still alive. He's also on the Facebook, you know. He posts some videos and also audio. So in Russia, everybody was crazy after that with jazz because Benny Goodman opened new world to Russians that nobody before Benny Goodman, nobody from United States not coming to Russia. It was time that all these people start to come, and after Benny Goodman was the first. It was 62. Then in 72 comes the Duke Ellington. Then also in the 86 come also Dave Brubeck with Bill Smith clarinet player. It was another point for me to play clarinet because I never heard a guy who can play so modern on clarinet with modern sound, with some effects and this kind of stuff, you know. So my father was the first clarinet player who changed. He just switched to French system. I mean, Bohemian. I tell you what happened. Benny Goodman was endorser of Selmer. When he comes to Russia, probably Selmer company gives him a lot of instruments to show to Russian people. Maybe Russian wants them, they will buy that. Benny, I know this story from Phil Woods. When Benny sing the musician for his big band, he told everybody, if you play corn, I can take you on tour, you need to change your saxophone to Selmer. And all saxophone players plays on new saxophone. All saxophone players plays on Mark 6 that time. Even Zoot Sims played all the time on his very old instrument. On tour he played on Selmer. And Phil told me he was waiting at the end of the tour to back to his old saxophone. So Benny brings a lot of clarinets to Russia. And after the concert, first or second concert, they do some private party for Benny Goodman in Kiev, and then they invite a lot of famous clarinet players like my grandfather and a lot of teachers that time. And Benny Goodman asked my grandfather what kind of clarinet he play, and he told me, I'm use Germany system. It's a very old clarinet. And he told me, probably you want to use, I'll give you gift, maybe you want to use new Selmer. He told me, maybe, probably, but that time it was very difficult to take something from American guy. It was like KGB, if you'll take something, you'll stay. Yeah. So they give gift to opera. And my grandfather started to check how it's working, but it was not successful, you know. He gives this clarinet to my father. I can show now this clarinet until today. Okay, this is original. This is central tone. This is clarinet, not good. Yeah. This is the clarinet. This is
the side to the left or right, so we can.
This is now you can see it.
Now we can see it. Yeah.
This is central tone, very old. Probably the late of 50s. They made this clarinet. So my father was playing on this clarinet all his life, and this is Benny Goodman models. Benny after that switched to Buffet, but this clarinet it was. Benny's clarinet. Probably he tried to play on this clarinet. If he take it to Russia, so probably he played. Yeah. Now it's very old clarinet, and I need to fix here everything. But maybe 1 year ago, Eddie Goffman fixed a little bit this clarinet, and she told me it's very old. If you play too much on this clarinet, he will die. And this is what happens when I start to play a lot on this clarinet. I feel that I have problem here, there, you know. I need to change everything here, but maybe I'll do someday, you know. I know guys who can help me with this clarinet. It sounds, I can tell, it's real good sound of this clarinet. You have also low, high notes. Everything is like dream, you know. You don't need to push nothing. You just play pianissimo. It sounds so brilliant sound, you know. So my father played on this clarinet all his life. Then I started to play again on this clarinet, but I told you I didn't want to play because it was not so good for me, and if you feel not so comfortable, you can't play. So I didn't play clarinet, I play on new one. Every time I practice a new one, and what I can tell, I tell to all my students who play clarinet and saxophone that they need to play more on clarinet, because I did big mistake when I just forget about this instrument. And I can you say that now even I don't want to play saxophone, play more clarinet. I'm like crazy with clarinet, you know. All my friends ask me, why you don't play saxophone? I thought, I don't know, I have Mark 6 tenor, I have also alto, new reference 54. But I love clarinet. I don't know, I don't need soprano. I have more ways to play. You have low notes, you have everything on clarinet. You just need to practice to be sure that you can play good.
That's good.
And for you it's much better because you play only clarinet. You can practice all day, all night. Sometimes I can, you know, I have to play sometimes also saxophone. So that's the problem. So I can play every time clarinet because people don't know a lot of that I can play clarinet, you know. They know me that I'm a saxophone player.
Right. Well, you can switch, you can make a variation, some songs on the clarinet.
Yes, but I'm lazy to take few instruments. I've been on tour with two instruments like clarinet and saxophone, but with, you know, in Russia a few years ago it was trouble with the airplane, that you can take your instrument to the plane. If you have too much, it's also a problem.
Yeah, it's not easy.
So 1 year ago when I was on tour in Russia, I told to my friend, now Russian company have to pay me because I'm going with this one. It's small one.
That's easy.
They will pay now that I'm going to the plane with a little suitcase.
Right. No wonder we're only this.
Yeah. I love this case too, you know. It's an old case, but it's good, you know. It's good.
I have the same, and I'm traveling with this, or put it inside bass clarinet bag, even this one. Yeah, it's very handy.
You know, now I have few clarinets, so I have also double case for few clarinets, but I don't use two clarinets. You know, I have one spare. Maybe if something happens, I can change immediately and play, because I didn't like it to fix it somewhere. If I don't know who's the guy, I never give the horn to fix. Yeah. I have only few. I have one in Moscow and one in Israel, so I know that I trust this guy to fix. If I don't know the guy, I'll never give him, you know.
You're teaching as well in Tel Aviv?
I'm more private teacher, online. I'm not working in a school or something like academic, because if, you know, the problem, if you're on the road all the time, you can't work all the time on some place regularly, because you need to change or you need to cancel, because, you know, it was time, I remember I was on tour 7-8 months in a year, so I can work on some regular place. Only I take students online, Zoom, Skype, or Messenger, or whatever, you know. So I have now a lot of students, you know, even few clarinet players. And people ask me how I can play like Buddy DeFranco. I told them I never transcribed Buddy DeFranco's solo. So just listen to him, but all this came from saxophone, I think, from Charlie Parker. Then I can play even modern stuff because I'm listening a lot of Eddie Daniels. Eddie is my favorite now, you know. I remember Buddy DeFranco told me, "Who your favorite clarinet player?" I told him, "You." He told, "And only me?" I told him, before it was Benny, he told me, you know something about Eddie Daniels?" I told him, "Sure, it's my favorite too." He told me, "Eddie is monster, better than me and Benny. He's just another planet guy." And Buddy was so kind person, you know. I remember it was very, very difficult to speak with his wife, but with him it was like man who knows you many years, you know. His wife, when he gave me this book for free, she told me why he give him this book for free. He has to pay for you $100. He told me this is gift.
From musician to musician, yeah. And he's gone. He was frozen. There you are.
Yeah, something happened. So
yeah,
I want to tell.
You said something rude about his wife, then the program out.
Yeah. So I want to say that nowadays we don't have a lot of clarinet players like Buddy DeFranco. I don't know. In Europe we have a lot of. If you heard the name Putty Wickman.
Sure.
For me, he's like Buddy DeFranco. He sounds amazing and great. And I know a lot of great players, even in the States now, like Byron. I forgot his name. Don Byron. Do you know him? He's a little bit contemporary player. Ken Peplowski. But this is musician. They sound more like. Ken. He sounds like Benny Goodman, I think, for me. He's from old school, you know. I'm not talking about like Paquita de Rivera or musician like Eddie Daniels. This is new generation, Nat Cohen, you know. So today, maybe it's not so popular instrument like before. I don't know, but
yeah, it's. I think it's coming and going like everything. Yeah.
Or maybe very hard to play on this instrument that people don't want to play. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. And in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and in the rest of Israel, is everything slowed down like everywhere else, or are you playing gigs?
Yeah. No. My last gig was in February. Until today, we don't have nothing. It's slowed down here. Even this month, they cancel everything. This year it's 1 year to Charlie Parker. And I was booked on a club to play few gigs. They cancel it, and next month I have 4 gigs, and also festival here in Israel also will probably cancel it. All my gigs, also in Russia was canceled. My big tour in October. I made a big program tribute to Charlie Parker, also with strings, with big bands, everything. They move everything to next year, March or April. I don't know exactly when it will be, because it's very difficult now to contact again, to offer money calls and to connect everybody. you know, we did this 1 year before, but now it's take a lot of time to organize again. I don't know, will be maybe next year we not play. I don't know.
Yeah, it's too
Now
early.
in Israel we have second wave of this virus, so who knows? Maybe it will be third, fourth, five, six, seven. I don't know.
Yeah, better to stay home right now.
I'm at home every time. I'm practice, and you know, for me, COVID is good when I can practice more in clarinet. That's good for me.
Right. So you're calm.
Yeah.
What about if people want to hear you? Did you record albums with clarinet?
With clarinet, I'm not recorded yet, but I think to do it. I want to do it, and maybe next year I'll do it in St. Petersburg with the Mussorgsky Big Band. We're thinking about projects to do Benny Goodman. Next year in Russia it will be no. I think next year or something like that, it will be 60 years, then he visit Russia, and then want me that I come and will play arrangement that Benny played in Russia. And for me, first of all, I love to play in St. Petersburg because it's very good musician for me. Very, very good quality of players, and all players play bebop. They play also this kind of music that I want to play. I love to play mainstream. I love to play bebop. You know, for me it's good because I play with a lot of guys from Moscow, and they sound amazing. But in St. Petersburg, very good written section for me. They sound when I come to New York in the 50s. You know, atmosphere and the clubs and the players. I played many times, and I've been there maybe seven or eight times. When I come to Russia, I'm going to St. Petersburg to play. Or Philharmonic Hall, or Jazz Philharmonic, or Jazz clubs, you know. I'm not asking a lot of money. I know the problem with the money. I told them, I'm come to play. I want to play here. I have 3-5 days, then I'm rest. I'm ready to play here and I'm free.
Listen, we have a first question here from Joaquin Sosa, a clarinet player from Cuba, I think. I'm not quite sure. Do you have a practice routine? Do you practice jazz, or do you practice your closest scales, or what's going on with you?
When I'm practice, first of all, I tell you the truth. When I start to play, I'm just playing like classical players. I'm playing Wiedemann, I'm playing Spohr. I'm not playing jazz. After one or few hours, then I feel that I can play. I just put -1 jam Ebersold and start to play. I never use some solos or something like that because I'm listening too much, you know. All my free time I can listen Eddie Daniels or Buddy DeFranco. And my iPhone, I have 1,000 CDs, you know. So every time I listen, I'm like sponge every time. If I love something, I'm listening it a lot. Even now I'm waiting for coming Eddie Daniels CDs. Soon it will be new one. He played half of CD clarinet, half of flute, something like that. But I tell too, if people want to play great on clarinet, they have to play classical music. This is very important. Jazz is not so important because if you don't have basses, you can't play. On clarinet, it's a classical instrument. You have to be with good tone. You have to play with good articulation, staccato, legato. If you don't have it, you can't play jazz good. I know a lot of players. I know a lot of players with the jazz sound. They played like on saxophone and clarinet. I didn't like it, this kind of sound. I love sound when it sounds like Ken Peplovsky or maybe Paquito, Eddie Daniels, Buddy DeFranco, Benny Goodman, but I didn't like a Dixieland sound on clarinet, you know. It's a more Hasidical sound, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's a matter of taste, what you like. So there is a style for everyone in jazz, for listeners and for players as well, to choose what they like. But I think it's just interesting to know for young people how they should approach jazz, how they should practice the instrument or the music style, and so.
You know, from my experience, I can tell if you have basic on your instrument, if clarinet or saxophone, flute or piano, you just need to listen a lot of jazz and need to transcribe more music. I tell you why. Because if you just open only book or just some book of solos transcribed to somebody else, you never know what happened there. Just play like exercise or you forget it. When you transcribe your own, so I mean, you work hard on that, you listen the music, you start to, right? Everything will be here after that, you know. This is big mistake if people just open omnibook or giant steps and play on 12 keys, you know, it's nothing happens after that. Yeah, I know 1,000 players, they start to, when you start to play on jam, nobody can play some standards. You need to learn standards, you need to listen a lot of great singer to understand what happened in this note, because your instrument is your voice, you have to sing on your instrument. Just don't need to play only scales every time, you know, scales is nothing. We have only 7 notes, but you have to do from 7 notes music.
Right. You have a clarinet with you there? Can you play a little bit for us?
I don't have it here, but I can bring it if you want.
Yeah, it would be fun. I think it would be very refreshing.
Okay, I'll bring it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I'll bring it. This is another one.
Another handy purse.
Yeah. This is clarinet from Taiwan. It's, you see, gold plated. It looks like Bakun, but it's not Bakun. Even my barrel is like Bakun. You know.
And what's the name of that brand of the clarinet from Taiwan?
They didn't put nothing from me. They sent me and they asked me to bring. I told them it's called Glotman. Probably I know that they working also with Bakun. Maybe they do something for Bakun too, but it's not Bakun.
Okay.
But it looks like
brown and gold.
Even here, you see, it's like Bakun. So it sounds good to me. I told to myself, I need to buy now Bakun and not so good.
So why don't you play on the clarinet that Benny Goodman gave to your family?
I need to change everything here. It's not so good condition, I told you. And he's very old. He's 60 years old, this clarinet. It's not sounds anymore.
Probably some mice in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't practice today and last day. I just pick up and start to play, you know.
Perfect, yeah.
You know, now I can do it, but you know, before 2-3 years ago to go to this level, it was very difficult. Even now I feel I need to practice, you know, I feel that my sound not exactly what I need. I need
Yeah, sounds beautiful. Good instrument. Good.
Thank you. But to
But it's
play
always,
good, you need to practice, you know. If
always the
people
player
not
behind
practice,
it. Yeah, it's always the player behind the instrument. That's for sure.
yeah.
It's great that you found your way back to the clarinet somehow through Buddy DeFranco and people that encouraged you to continue besides playing the alto saxophone. Yeah, that's beautiful.
You know, Buddy DeFranco told me before that if you start to play clarinet, you can make big career. But so how can make sound something if I'm not playing it? He told me, just practice. I feel that you will be good. Who knows, you know? I never thought that I'll back to clarinet so seriously. I thought maybe I'll play a few months, then I'll put this inside, I'll play saxophone. No, now I feel that he's win. I don't want to play saxophone, I want to play more clarinet.
Yeah, it's good to have you on that side. Beautiful.
And you play only on clarinet, you don't play saxophone?
No, I don't play. I play bass clarinet.
I tell you true, I tried to play 1 year ago on bass clarinet, it was not so good for me. I don't know, maybe clarinet was not good, or mouthpiece. It's not sounds good to me. I tried to play and it was so low and the sound was very strange, you know. But I love Eric Dolphy, I love his sound, I love his, I love his style, everything. But
right. Maybe in closing, can you tell us, you have a website that I can post where people can find out more about you, or is it YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube, in YouTube you can find me just by name, Robert Anchipolovsky. You can watch around 600 videos. I'm playing clarinet, saxophone, alto, tenor. Now I just not use my website because I don't have gigs, I just shut down it. I have Facebook, I have my own page, I have also my music page. If people want to add me, welcome.
Okay. And so you said music page.
Regular Facebook. Second one is
you mean
Robert Anchipolovsky, like music. I put just my pictures from the concert on my videos. On my regular, I put everything. My wife, my children, my dog, cats, everything.
The dog, your ice cream. I see, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. I will connect those things so people can enjoy this too. Yeah.
Great, great.
Yeah.
I hope maybe I'll be in Russia. I don't know why. If you'll be there, we'll meet and we'll speak, we'll play.
Yeah, let me know when you're coming to STB. Yeah.
You live in St. Petersburg, yeah?
Right.
It's a great place. I love this town. It looks like, I don't know, for me it's not Russia. It's like another world. You come there, it's not looks Russia anymore. You know, it looks like Italy, like French, but not Russia. You know, after Moscow, you come to another world, another planet, another musician, another quality of sound of jazz there, another stage of jazz. You know, people, different people. Even you don't speak Russian, you don't understand it. I speak Russian, I understand how many people, how much they educated. You know, and when you come to play there, you see that even young people, they listen to you. Yeah, because in Moscow, you go to the clubs, people more eating than listen to you. In St. Petersburg, they listen. Then when you go to break, they start to eat. It's like in Italy, for example.
Right. It's more about the eating, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I hope I can also join you once in Tel Aviv. I was never there, but I would like to visit Israel and play, of course. One day.
Let me know when you want to do it, and we'll do it, or even we can play together. Immediately I'll book for us something.
Great. Another thing that came spontaneously to my mind, that this is a personal thing, but do you, a guy, saxophone player in Tel Aviv by the name of Roy Herzlich?
Yes, I know. She's lives now in Germany, I think.
In Germany?
I think. I know this guy many years. I know him around 20 years. I think he's now in Germany or in somewhere there, or maybe in Holland, somewhere there, because he moves every time. He played on saxophone, but I don't know if he played till now. He was crazy on Phil Woods one time. I remember he was.
Yeah, he studied with me in Zurich, in Switzerland, and I met him there, and he sounded like Phil Woods, and somehow he came to my mind. Says, "You guys should know each other."
I know him from 1996 when I came from New York to Israel. Immediately he started to call me and ask me, "Are you student? You know Phil? How he plays? Do you have a lot of recordings?" I thought I have around 300 recordings. Wow, give me something to listen.
Right, yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Well, this was great talk. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, we'll keep this thing rolling and exchanging ideas. And I saw that you saw the interviews, and it's great to have feedback from you. And we'll continue this. Yeah, beautiful.
Great.
See you later.
Okay, bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Ciao, Robert.
Bye.